All right, let's get right into it. This is an executive briefing on the real architecture of high-level networking. We're going to move way beyond just collecting business cards and step into a world where, trust me, the rules of engagement are completely different. You know, think about it for a second. Almost all the conventional networking advice out there puts you in this loud, crowded room, whether it's digital or physical, where you're just chasing clients who are haggling over price. It's this incredibly frustrating game of volume over value, and it's a game you are absolutely engineered to lose. And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? The world where ultra-high net worth individuals operate, it's not built on chaos. It's actually engineered for order. They exist in a private, totally curated world where value, not volume, is the only currency that matters. It's all signal and zero noise. So that's the million-dollar question, right? How do you do it? It's not about trying to shout louder than everyone else. It's about understanding the code to get through the door. And the answer is to stop thinking like a service provider and start acting like a sovereign, a peer who actually belongs in that room. Okay, so before we can even talk about tactics, we have to internalize this fundamental psychological shift. This mindset is the foundation. Everything else we're going to talk about is built right on top of this. Here's the absolute key. If you approach this world with a sales pitch, you've already lost. A sales-based approach is immediately flagged as a threat to the only two things they can't buy more of, their time and their privacy. An ally, on the other hand, is something totally different. An ally is someone who can manage complexity, someone who can handle the incredible weight of their world. In this arena, the real currency isn't money. It's trust. And, maybe most importantly, peace of mind. And these are the walls you're up against. The elite have spent literally lifetimes building these legal, financial, and social walls to protect themselves. A vendor just knocks on these walls, hoping someone answers. An ally? They're invited to walk straight through them. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. Now let's pull up the map. Where do these individuals actually spend their time? Because I can tell you right now, it is definitely not where most people are looking. This is it. This is the key. If a place or an event or some platform is super easy for everyone to get into, your target is almost certainly not there. High-level networking happens in curated, exclusive environments where price and privacy act as a natural filter. You see, the path isn't a straight line to the client. The real strategy is to find the ecosystem that supports them, and that requires this process of zooming in, from the big, broad environments they're in, down to the professional network they trust, and then finally to those truly intimate, high-stakes rooms. So the real strategy here is to target these professional proxies. These are the gatekeepers the billionaire already has on speed dial. By becoming an absolutely invaluable resource to them, you become a verified asset inside their trusted circle. They end up being your internal champion. All right, we've got the map. Now we need the playbook. This part is all about engineering a kind of gravitational pull towards you, not pushing your services onto them. It's a huge difference. Look, those high-ticket masterminds and exclusive clubs, that's not an expense. You have to think of it as an investment in social infrastructure. You're not just paying for access. You're paying for the removal of all the barriers and the elimination of all the noise, which lets real conversations finally happen. This right here, this is probably the single most common and most damaging mistake people make. The second you ask, hey, do you know anyone who could use my help? You instantly downgrade your status from a peer to just another person looking for a favor. Now, this is the flip side, and it's the absolute core of the pull strategy. Instead of asking, you position your expertise so precisely that when a relevant problem pops up, your name isn't just a suggestion. It's the only logical answer. You literally create a vacuum that only you can fill. I mean, just look at the difference. I do tax law is generic, it's totally forgettable. But I restructure 9-figure estates to withstand 2026 volatility. That is hyper-specific, it's authoritative, and it's uniquely referable. It creates that vacuum of need we're talking about. And finally, let's talk about the end game. This is where you make the shift from a purely transaction-based mindset to one where you're creating durable, long-term value and influence. So, there's actually a formal term for what we're building here. It's called social capital. And it's basically the immense value that comes not just from what you know, but from the durable network of trust and reciprocity that you build over time. And this is the real power move of a sovereign. By connecting high-level people in your network, by creating value for them without expecting anything back right away, you earn this massive social dividend. You become an indispensable node in their world. And this visualizes the whole transformation, right? You stop being an outsider trying to get in. Instead, you become the central golden node, the catalyst right at the heart of the network, the one who makes things happen for everybody else. So when you look at the path forward, it really comes down to a choice. The goal isn't just to be the best service provider out there. It's to become the most valuable catalyst in their ecosystem. So the question is, which one are you building towards? All right, welcome back. In part 1, we laid all the groundwork, the theory. Now it's about execution. This is where we stop just knowing the game and actually start winning it. So let's just jump right in with a question that's meant to reframe everything for you. Picture this. You're in a room, it's full of billionaires. What is your job title actually worth in that room? Seriously, when everyone's a somebody, your title just becomes, well, it's background noise, isn't it? It's a commodity. The real question is, how do you signal that you belong? Okay, so let's get into it. The first step is to completely rewire how you answer that one simple question. So, what do? We're throwing out the old playbook and bringing in what's called the sovereign method. And just look at this comparison. It's night and day, right? The common approach? I'm a lawyer. I mean, it's so forgettable. You immediately become a line item, something they can compare on price. But the sovereign approach? That's a specific victory story. It proves your competence without you having to brag, and it instantly signals that you operate in these really high-stakes environments. You gotta remember, stories are what move money. Stories establish your caliber. This is such a critical distinction. That rehearsed 30-second commercial you've practiced, it just feels desperate. And at this level, neediness is a repellent. The sovereign pitch is not a presentation, it's a conversation about the landscape. It positions you as a strategic advisor who's just observing the market, not some vendor who's begging for a sale. If they don't lean in and ask a follow-up question, guess what? They were never your client to begin with. And here's the structure behind it. It's basically an invisible framework for persuasion. Step 1 is the hook. You get their attention by naming a problem they're feeling, but maybe haven't even articulated. Step 2, authority. This is your calm statement of expertise with absolutely zero please like me energy. And the bridge? It's not a hard sell. It's a simple, super low friction offer that puts the ball completely in their court. Now we're moving into the most critical part of this entire framework. I mean it. The tactics we just covered, they are totally useless if you don't get the internal psychology right. You have to shift from feeling like a vendor to operating as an equal. You have to understand this psychological frame. The wealthy and powerful can sense neediness from a mile away. It's like a biological repellent. To succeed, your internal monologue, your posture, your energy, everything about you has to communicate that you see yourself as their peer. If you walk in just feeling lucky to be there, you've already lost the game. And this isn't a hierarchy, right? It's a partnership. As you can see right here, it's a completely balanced trade of value. You bring the specialized knowledge to solve a high-stakes problem, they bring the capital and the problem itself. It's symbiotic. It's a trade between equals. So this is the crucial point. You have to be genuinely willing to walk away from a deal if it's not a perfect fit. Saying no to a potential client who maybe doesn't respect your process, well, it proves you don't need their money. And ironically, that very independence is what makes them want to work with you even more. Now, be prepared for this, because it will happen. High net worth individuals are going to test you, and often they don't even realize they're doing it. They might be blunt, they might challenge your expertise. What they're really doing is running a diagnostic to see if you have a spine. And your response to that test is everything. If you get defensive, if you fold, you are immediately put into the help category. It's over. But if you stand your ground with a calm, professional indifference, you pass. They need to know that when things inevitably go wrong, you're going to be the one person in the room who doesn't panic. Your calm is your most valuable asset. Okay, so you've passed the test. You're in the circle. Now what? How do you stay there and become truly indispensable? The key is to understand this. High-level clients hate being managed, but they absolutely love being briefed. And this is the sovereign brief. We're not talking about a lengthy report. This is a highly distilled, super high-value piece of intelligence that respects their time. You take complex information and you turn it into actionable insight. By doing this, you're not just another person on their payroll anymore.
You become their intelligence officer, a crucial part of their decision-making process.
This brings us to the long game, because at the 7-digit level and way, way above, your reputation travels faster and further than any marketing campaign ever could. One mistake, one tiny breach of trust, and that entire invisible network can just close its doors to you. And that reputation, it all starts with one. Just one. One high-level client served with absolute uncompromising excellence. You see, you aren't just building a business one transaction at a time. You're building a legacy. That one relationship, when you nurture it correctly, becomes a node that connects you to an entire ecosystem. Excellence is the best form of marketing you will ever have. So after all of this, what's the single most important takeaway? What's the final mindset that separates all the people on the outside from those who actually get invited into the inner circle? It all comes down to this: certainty. Certainty in your value, certainty in the problems you solve, and certainty in your position as a peer. It's a quiet confidence that doesn't need to shout. It's an authority that is felt, not announced. You have the methods, you have the psychology, you have the strategy. The door to that next level isn't locked. It just requires a different key. And now you have it. The only question left is, are you ready to step through it?